All right, so we are working on rearranging formulas, so kind of moving around formulas, and we're talking about perimeter formulas for today. So the perimeter, if you need a reminder, is the sum of the length of all sides of a shape or the distance around the outside of the shape. So when we're talking about perimeter, we're talking about this part right here. Okay, so that's the perimeters around the outside. All right, so the traditional formula for the perimeter of a rectangle is going to be P equals, here's your lengths, here's your widths. If I add up 2 lengths and 2 widths, I get 2L plus 2W. Okay, so if I were going to solve that formula for L, first thing I want to do is get the 2W away from the 2L. So I'm going to subtract a 2W from both sides. And then I want to divide out the 2. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And those go away. And I've kind of run out of room. So P minus 2W over 2 is going to be the perimeter formula solved for L. Now, if I wanted to do the same thing solving for W, it's the same process, except this time I'm going to take away the 2L from both sides. So P minus 2L equals 2W. And then go ahead and divide both sides by 2 again. And I get P minus 2L, that's an L. P minus 2L over 2 is equal to the width. All right, so now we do have some other shapes that we have perimeters for. The formula, so technically the formula for the perimeter of a square could be the same as the perimeter of a rectangle, but a lot of times we'll simplify this and we'll say all of these sides are S, and because it's a square, all the sides are the same, so P equals 4S. So if we wanted to take that formula and solve it for S, we would just divide both sides by 4. And so in this case, P over 4 equals S. Okay. And then the last perimeter I want to talk about is the circumference of a circle. The circumference of a circle is the perimeter of the circle. It's just a very special formula because it's a circle. So the circumference of a circle is based on the diameter across here. So the first formula is circumference equals pi times the diameter. If I wanted to solve for D, I would just divide both sides by pi. And I would get C over pi equals, that's a D for diameter. Let me rewrite that. C over pi equals diameter. Now, because diameter is 2 times the radius, we could also write this as 2 pi r. And if I wanted to solve this for r, now I'm just going to divide both sides by 2 pi. So I get C over 2 pi equals r. All right, so there's a couple questions down here. You need to fence in a rectangular space. You have 48 feet of fence. The length of your space needs to be 16 feet. How wide will the space need to be? So I have a rectangle. That's a terrible rectangle. I'm sorry. The width is 16. The length is 16. We want to know what the widths are. So we already did a formula up here where we solved for width. And width equals perimeter minus 2L over 2. So perimeter minus 2L over 2 is the width. So if I do the perimeter is 48 minus 2 times 16 divided by 2. That will give me my width. 48 minus 32 is 16 divided by 2. So my width is 8 feet. Okay. And then this last one, a circular pool has a circumference of 56 feet. What is the diameter of the pool? So we just saw up here, diameter is circumference divided by pi. So the circumference is 56 feet divided by pi. If we wanted an exact answer to that question, we could use 56 divided by pi, but let's go ahead and estimate because nobody knows how to measure a pi circle or 56 over pi feet. So I just put that in my calculator and I get 17.83. So the diameter is approximately 17.83 feet. And we do approximately because my calculator actually put out the number 17.825870, and it will just keep going because you're dividing by pi, so we have to round. And when we round, that's not an exact answer, so we do the little squiggly equal signs. And that is it for perimeter. Tomorrow we'll work on some area formulas.